All right. Good afternoon, council members. So today, I want to recognize an amazing organization that's have impacted so many young people, including myself, the TRIO Upper Bound program. It is a program designed to bridge the gap for young people, high schoolers in the Baton Rouge community and across the nation to ensure they have a smooth transition to college. Growing up, I was a first-generation college student, and so my family was very hardworking people, but of course the college experience was not in their car or on roller deck of cars, but the TRIO Upper Bound program did an amazing job ensuring I had a smooth college transition, and so I wanted to make sure today I recognize my amazing TRIO Upper Bound programs across the Baton Rouge city. We have a campus at BRCC, LSU, and my alma mater, Southern University. So I'd like to bring up Dr. Simon to come on up as a representative, and then we'll recognize some of the amazing staff today. Let's give them a round of applause for TRIO Upper Bound.
Hello. So I do want to say with TRIO programs, we do serve a program. So Upward Bound is one of them that Councilman Anthony Kinney served in. We have Educational Talent Search that serve our middle and high school students. We have McNair that serves our college students, and we have Upward Bound, Student Support Services, Educational Opportunity Centers, and the list go on. So I do want to thank you for that, Councilman Kinney. Anthony Kinney. First of all, I just want to say good afternoon. It is an honor and a privilege. My name is Letitia Wade Simon, and I have the honor of serving as the 2025 president for Louisiana Association of Student Assistance Programs. And just like he stated, TRIO serves low-income, first-generational college students or students with disabilities. These are students who may have probably been overlooked or who don't have the necessary resources in school. Myself, I am a first-generation college student, the first one amongst my family to not just go to college, but to graduate from college. And what we do is we pretty much bridge the gap. In East Baton Rouge Parish, we currently serving 3,500 students. And those students, again, ranges from middle school all the way up to our collegiate students. And we have 23 programs in EBR. So we have students that are served from Southern University, Baton Rouge Community College, Louisiana State University, and we also have a nonprofit, which is our Impact Upward Bound. And the thing is that TRIO have been around for over 50 years. Actually, Southern University is one of the programs that has been served our students and has been a staple for the students in this community. And if it wasn't for TRIO, we wouldn't be, well, when it comes to TRIO has measurable and also reliable results, just like with Councilman Kinney. He served as a product of TRIO. There are many others. We have Tony Clayton, who's a member of TRIO. Also, we have Congressman Cleo Fields, who is also a member of TRIO. Not to mention Judge Guidry, who is also my professor at Southern University, who is also a member of the TRIO programs. We just don't know how bad that impacts. But when you do serve TRIO, just know that we are breaking cycles of poverty. None of that, we are also building leaders, and we are also opening many doors for many generations to come, because just like TRIO have been done here the past 50 years, we plan on being here another 50 years. And so I just want to say thank you for this honor. We truly appreciate you because, again, you are one of the reasons of why TRIO works. So thank you for that. And I do have our members. We have TRIO members and students and alum from all the programs here in East Baton Rouge Parish, from Southern University, Educational Talent Search, Upward Bound from Southern University, Baton Rouge Community College, Upward Bound, Baton Rouge Community College, Educational Opportunity Center. We have Impact Upward Bound, and Louisiana State University. So it's just an honor. And we want our students to know that we will continue to fight and we will continue to serve them in this parish. Thank you.
All right, don't go too far. Also, we want to recognize as an alumni of the TRIO Upper Bound program, Councilman Cleve Dunn. He is an alumnus in the TRIO Upper Bound program. So when you hear the tagline, TRIO works, you see it not just throughout City Parish, but throughout the entire nation. TRIO is doing an amazing job with our students. And today, I want to do a recognition certificate in honor of your unwavering dedication and steadfast commitment to empowering first-generation college students as they boldly pursue higher education. Your continued support and tireless efforts are making a profound and lasting difference in the lives of youth, opening doors to opportunity and shaping brighter futures. The impact of this program extends far beyond the classroom, building confidence, breaking barriers, and inspiring the next generation to dream bigger. Let's get a round of applause to the TRIO Upper Bound program. I'll ask y'all to come on up. We're going to take a group picture in the front. All right, let's get a round of applause for Trail. All right, thank you to the Trio Upper Bound program. All right, next up, it's been one of the pillars in our community. This organization has been serving as a bright light and mentors to so many young people in this community. Today, we'd like to recognize the 100 Black Men of Metro Baton Rouge. This organization has been within the Baton Rouge community for the last 30-plus years. Recently, this chapter organization is a part of many various chapters across the United States and globally as well. But recently, they was recognized as the 2025 Large Chapter of the Year. Let's get 100 Black Men of Metro Baton Rouge a round of applause. This organization not only impacts young people, but college students and adults as well. I have been impacted by this program ever since I was in college, all the way up to becoming a member and all the way up to working alongside them for many years. And so I am proud, along with myself and Councilman Hurst, to be a member of this prestigious organization. So I'd like to bring up the president of the 100 Black Men of Metro Baton Rouge, Mr. Andre Harmon, to give a few remarks.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Andre Harmon, and I am truly honored and deeply grateful to stand among this incredible group of leaders from our city. A special thanks to Councilman Kenny and Councilman Hurst for this opportunity and all that you do. I would like to recognize at this time, for my members, please stand, come up here with me. I always do this wherever we go because I want people to see what we're working with. So at this time, the LSU Collegiate Chapter also won Chapter of the Year 2025. Let's give them a hand. We're also fortunate to have in our midst our actually National Vice Chairman, Michael Victorian, who is with us today as well as the advisors. This moment represents more than just a photograph. It embodies unity, purpose, and the powerful legacy we're building together to empower the next generation. Each of you brings a wealth of experience, wisdom, and commitment to uplifting our communities through mentorship, education, economic empowerment, and health equity. I am so proud to serve alongside these gentlemen and ladies as their president, winning at the national level. And I thought he said all over the United States, but you forgot London, England. Winning at the national level not only honors our remarkable work, but it also shines a light on Baton Rouge. And our motto is, what they see is what they will be. And you know what I see? I see Councilman Coleman seated beside me in a disciplinary hearing, trying to make sure that her students get a chance to graduate. That particular student that we stood together graduated at the top of his class. I see Councilman Goday at the Martin Luther King Cleanup Guardia plant seeds with 175 young people plus other nonprofits. And I also see Mayor Edwards, who took time to come back from the D.C. Mardi Gras to bring someone to a college fair, how about that, and attend our #1 fundraising gala. I see all of you. And that's what I want to do, is see with all the council members, us working together for a common good, which is to protect our children. Thank you.
All right. And so today, to my fellow members of the 100 Black Men of Metro Baton Rouge, along with myself and Councilman Hurst, today we have a certificate of recognition on behalf of the City of Baton Rouge and the East Baton Rouge Parish Metro Council. It is with great pride and sincere admiration that we recognize the 100 Black Men of Metro Baton Rouge for being named the 2025 Large Chapter of the Year, an honor bestowed at the 29th Annual National Conference of 100 Black Men of America. Let's give a round of applause to 100 Black Men of Metro Baton Rouge.
Look, it's been a joy to be a part of such an illustrious group of great men that's impacted this metro area. But I just got a firm commitment from our mayor, Sid Edwards, that he will be joining as the second non-African American man along with Adam Knapp, to be a member of the 100 of Greater Baton Rouge. Y'all please give him a round of applause.
All right. Thank you, Council, for these recognitions of these prestigious young people and young men.
Awesome. Next up, we will have Councilwoman Tawana Harris to recognize Keenan Bynum, Master Execs Studios. Councilwoman?
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem Hudson, for this opportunity. You know, I had to get that one in. Today, it's an honor to recognize Mr. Keenan Bynum. He is the owner of Master Exec Studio, a self-owned business that showcases his passion for capturing memorable moments. With a strong sense of determination, organization, and ambition, Keenan, we would like to thank you for taking time to capture the moments of our Mother's Day Tea Party held at the MLK Community Center. We appreciate your compassion shown to the ladies as they were escorted to their photos. Thank you for supporting District 7. And we have a certificate of recognition to you from the staff of the council office and the MLK Center. And tell her to come up here. She was? Okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you both so much for donating your time and service to this wonderful event we had for Mother's Day. Would you like to say something?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Keenan Bynum, and I'm the owner of Master Exec Studios, a photography business. And I have cards if any of you all want any.
Thank you so much, Keenan.
Also, this is my girlfriend. She works with me.
You're so sweet.
You went from a smart
Thank
guy
you
to a
so
genius when you made that last statement.
Would you like to get a picture? Let's get us a photo. Come on. Let me get the others.
And now Councilwoman Harris will recognize Carl Tucker Jr., Cole Tucker, and Norris Wright from Best Look Barbershop.
Today, with great honor, is to recognize Best Look Barbershop. We appreciate their dedication to the community for providing free haircuts every third Wednesday of the month at the MLK Community Center. This monthly outreach is more than just a service, it's a meaningful connection. Each visit brings uplifted confidence, care, and conversation. Their efforts are a shining example of how time and talent could be used to serve and strengthen the community. We have Mr. Carl Tucker, my barber, and Norris Wright present. Unfortunately, Mr. Cole Tucker is unable to be present for this recognition. So Mr. Tucker and Mr. Wright, can you come up, please? There you go. Now I want you to say something here. Say something good. Paul, would you like to say something, sir? I know I'm putting you guys on the spot, but that's okay.
I'd just like to thank the community for the opportunity to give back. Thank you.
I've often wondered how Councilman Harris comes in here always lined up so fresh every week, and so now I know. Next up, Councilwoman Jen Rocca will recognize Melissa Martin, Director of Grow Healthy Initiative.
Hello, everyone. So I want to tell you a little bit about Grow Healthy. It comes from Pennington Biomedical Research Center, and Grow is G-R-E-A-U-X, healthy. Is Miss Melissa here? Come on up. So these folks here are protecting the most precious members of our community, our children, through their Grow Healthy, and I'll give them a shout out, growhealthy.org, in fighting childhood obesity. But this not only helps the children. For every $1 spent on obesity prevention, it has a $4 return of investment for the state of Louisiana. But that's enough about me talking. I like for other people to chat, so I'm going to give her the mic.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today and to share with you more about Pennington Biomedical's newest initiative called Grow Healthy. We are turning years of research that we've been doing in our Louisiana communities into a variety of community resources, programs, and tools at no cost, our way of giving back for allowing us to learn so much from you over the years. Our aim is to provide these resources for prevention and for treatment. Resources are being developed for providers, for educators, for families, for children across our state. The reason why we're doing this is, unfortunately, nearly 1 in 4 children in the state of Louisiana have obesity. And of those children with obesity, there comes a significant cost. As Councilwoman mentioned, we have a true sense of urgency. 70% of children with obesity will go on to be adults with obesity, increasing the risk for over 13 cancers and other chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes. So together, we hope we can join with all of our communities and partners across the state to make a difference. Over the last year, we've worked with over 35 early childhood education centers and schools across the state, launched a provider hub where we're building out resources on the newest clinical practice guidelines to help providers have the tools they need to best treat our children. We have over 60 families that have enrolled in our Pennington Generation Research Study, where we're looking to bring families across the state together to learn more about health behaviors and how research and other partners can come together to truly support our children and our families across the state. Over the next 12 months, we'll be traveling statewide. Although we're located here in Baton Rouge and love the work that we do here, this is a partnership with the state of Louisiana, and so we are going to be going across the state to share these resources and ensure they're accessible to everyone. We ask for your support in these efforts to make our children healthy, just by spreading the word, sharing our resources that we have online, and connecting anyone who might be interested to Pennington for these free resources. We would appreciate that help. So thank you again for the opportunity to share all this with you today. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I have a certificate for you, and council members, at your desk, you have all of their information. Please share with your districts. I know that Daryl has a passion for a lot of things, but I know one of his major passions is young children. So I'm hoping that he'll share it with his camps and all the things that he does with youth sports. So really appreciate that. Thank you all so much, and I'd like to give you this certificate. There you go. Thank you so much. And go Tigers.
All right, go Tigers. Next up, Councilman Hurst will honor Miss now, Councilman Hurst wrote this, so if I mess it up, it's his fault. Kedriana Happy Lee.
You did a good job, which means I write pretty good. Let me tell y'all, Baton Rouge, the United States, Louisiana, I believe around the world, the culture has changed so much away from service to selfish. And so when we see the next generation just being so grateful to wake up each morning, to serve people, to deliver a happy message, to make someone else's day brighter, I believe they deserve the honor and gratitude and recognition. And this little story is about the McDonald's on Greenwell Springs Road. It has gotten to the point where when I go through the drive-thru, I know who's at the microphone, depending on how they speak to me. And I told this young lady that McDonald's is where you start, but there's no ceiling to where you stop. And so I've offered her a job too. She won't leave McDonald's. But all right. Tawana says I work my people real hard. She said I don't blame you. But I've had the opportunity to work with Mr. Michael Veluzzo, the management team, to recognize her internally. And a year later, she still makes me smile every time I come through that drive-thru. So I skip other McDonald's along the way because I like to share in the joy that she brings. And so today, I proudly present to Kedriana, her nickname is Happy Lee. Kedriana Lee, also known affectionately as Happy, is a remarkable asset to the Veluzzo Company. Her consistently positive attitude uplifts everyone around her, creating a welcoming and motivating environment. Kedriana's outstanding manners and professionalism reflect her commitment to excellence and respect in the workplace. She approaches every task with enthusiasm and a smile, making a lasting impression on both customers and colleagues. Her presence not only enhances team morale, but also strengthens the company's reputation for exceptional excellence. I give you all Ms. Kedriana Lee.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? I'm very honored to be here. I didn't know I had to make a speech, but thank y'all so much. I'm so happy to be here and so happy that y'all honored me. And please come to McDonald's on Greenwell. We would love to have y'all. And oh, one more thing. Thank you to my mama. She drove me here and I love her very much. Thank you. Okay.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Oh. Next up, Councilman Hurst will recognize Mayor President Sid Edwards and Chief Morse.
So we had one question about summer camp and investing in our youth. And two people stepped up along with a host of other folks. And those two people were Mayor Sid Edwards in terms of his enthusiasm and care for our youth. Chief Morse, our second year joining, linking together to provide public safety, community policing at a young age, so that our kids aren't running from police and running to them. We always talk about rebranding and how do we do that in public safety. It doesn't start when they're here, it starts when they're here. And so we linked up side by side, make sure that the resources were there, and every Thursday we have a public safety day. And I would like Director of EMS, Chris Landry, to stand up, because he and his team, along with the fire department, they come out with us as well to make sure that public safety goes beyond the police department. But as much as I would like to do the presentation, I have some amazing kids that can speak for themselves. So if they would like to come up and speak on behalf of the camp and recognize these folks for the great works that they do. Okay. Well, let me tell you what I did. I got in the way. So listen, we have somebody who wrote a message, but they're going to present together.
Thank you, Mayor Edwards and Chief Morris. We're super thankful for your amazing support of District's 5 summer program. Because of you, we get to enjoy another summer filled with learning, new friends, and tons of fun. A special shout out to Councilman Hurst for making every summer the best one yet. From all of us at Club Camp a Lot, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jaylee Glasper, and I will be thanking Mayor President Sid Edwards. I thank him because we have a lot of fun at our camp, and we do a lot of activities, and we learn and have lots of field trips. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mazi Ketchiku. I just want to thank Chief Morris for all of the public safety that we have, and to make sure that he protect us from, bad people and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, y'all get a picture.
All right, listen up. We need some to come on this side.
Hey, I need some this way, this way.
Let's even it out.
I would love for all the council members to come down and join us in this picture. There we go. Come on.
Council members, come up on the dais.
Hold up. Let me get mine first. All right, listen up. I'm gonna go first and then they next. All right, everybody look my way for me. Big smile from everybody. All right, everybody look this way. Good. Hold that for me. Thanks. We got 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
and fourth grade. Third and fourth on this side.
Hey, look, everybody go to the line. We're gonna figure out the line.
Just take them out of here to the lobby. Come on.
I'm talking almost everybody. I'm talking to everybody.
All right, now Mayor President Sid Edwards will recognize Dr. Michael Becker, Director of Mosquito Abatement and Rodent Control for Pelez Mosquito Week.
He's not here, but I'm standing in for him.
Oh, come on up, Mr. Kenny.
How you doing?
Oh, correction.
Yes, we got Mr. Kenny with us today.
We're going to call him Dr. Kenny.
Hey, we'll roll with it. Well, a lot of people wonder what is the importance of this. It's very important. And Pelez, did I say that right? Pelez Mosquito Week. And we're gathered here today not to just honor a week, but to acknowledge the important work being done to keep our residents healthy and improve their quality of life. Mosquitoes are more than just bugs that fly. They are a serious public health threat. Louisiana is one of many states that has experienced recurring outbreaks of mosquito-borne diseases like West Nile virus and others. Today, we recognize Pelez Mosquito Week to raise awareness that we all have a part to play removing standing water from our yards, whether it's a bucket, flower pot, an old tire. It all makes a difference. This small act helps lower our community's risk. Now, here's what I didn't know. The word Pelez is a Cajun term meaning to crush, destroy, or eliminate. Our message is simple: Pelez the mosquito before it piles on us. I want to sincerely thank the mosquito abatement and rodent control teams across our parish and state. Your work often goes unnoticed, but it saves lives, improves quality of life, and protects our environment. So, Mr. Kenny, I want to thank you and the whole staff. Here again, it's one of those things that people don't pay attention to, but it is as important as anything we do in our city. So God bless you and thank you. And if you'd like to say a few words.
Yes. Well, on behalf of Dr. Becker, who couldn't make it, I'm Kenny Ricardo. Yeah, we come out and we service the community. We want to make sure that everyone is safe. We feel like our job is as important as police and fire. You know, but I do want to leave you with one bit of knowledge. Does anybody in here know that only the female mosquito bites? I'm stating facts. She uses the protein from our blood to reproduce. So that's why she bites us. So when one lands on you, now you know what? It's a female. That's it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's good to know. For you. Shall we get a picture right there? Thank you, sir.
And now Mayor President Sid Edwards will recognize Lael Collins, Baton Rouge native and NFL player, for his contributions to the city of Baton Rouge.
We are proclaiming it Lael Collins Day. Mr. Collins is a proud native of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where he has represented his hometown with integrity, determination, and excellence both on and off the football field. Mr. Collins is a product of North Baton Rouge, the Redemptorist High School. We are alumni together, and continued to shine as an All-American offensive lineman at LSU, earning the SEC's Jacobs Blocking Trophy and solidifying his legacy as one of the most dominant linemen in the nation. Lael went on to play in the National Football League, signing with the Dallas Cowboys and later contributing to the Cincinnati Bengals, where he continued to embody the values of discipline and leadership. Through his athletic success and charitable work to youth empowerment, Mr. Collins continues to be a role model and a source of pride for the people of Baton Rouge. It is fitting and proper that we recognize and celebrate individuals who inspire the next generation and make meaningful contributions to their communities. So today, the City of Baton Rouge and Parish of East Baton Rouge Parish do hereby proclaim June 25th is Lael Collins Day. I would like to thank Lael for everything he does, and the most important part, not forgetting where he came from, and that is the 70805. Mr. Collins, if you would come on up. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much. Oh wow, this was definitely a big surprise for me, only because anytime I look to give back or do any work with the young youth in the community is strictly from the heart. Never do it for recognition. So just want to say thank you so much. Truly an honor.
Come on up. Let's introduce your family here. We'll get a couple of pictures.
This is my youngest son, Luke Collins. This is Liliana, call her Lily, and then my fiance, Linda.
Let's get some pictures. Come on, children. I got to check the handshake down right here. He'll break it.
All right, and Mayor President Sid Edwards and Metropolitan Council Member Rowdy Goday will now recognize Sean Elliott, Chief Executive Officer of YMCA of the Capital Area, for advancing the mission of the YMCA in service to the people of the Capital Region. Mayor?
Yes. This is quite an honor with Councilman Goday, a certificate of appreciation for the civic partnership and everything you do. It's presented to Sean Elliott, Chief Executive Officer of the YMCA of the Capital Area, in recognition of your leadership and commitment to advancing the mission of the Capital Area YMCA in service to the people of the Capital Region. The East Baton Rouge Parish Metropolitan Council extends sincere appreciation for your dedication to fostering youth development, promoting healthy living, and strengthening community bonds. As a valued civic partner, your role in shaping a stronger, healthier, and more inclusive region is both recognized and celebrated. We look forward to the continued collaboration between the YMCA and the city parish government in pursuit of a vibrant and equitable future for all. We thank you very much. Mr. Goday, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor. I love that we have a mayor who wears Air Jordans. That's really great. All right, so look, I'm on the board of the Capital Area YMCA, and so just wanted to take a moment to introduce the new CEO, Mr. Sean Elliott, as he comes to Baton Rouge. He's new to this community. And takes the helm at the Capital Area YMCA. You know, if you're not familiar with the YMCA, I tell folks all the time, if you think that it is healthcare facilities in our community and limited to that, you haven't seen the great work that the Y is doing. They improve the lives of children across our community. They produce healthy outcomes for people of all ages. And anytime you go into a Y, you will find a table of mostly seasoned men sitting there solving all the problems of the world. And so it's always a great place for community, which is what the Y is all about promoting. So it was my honor when I met with Sean for the first time to kind of talk through as he's coming in as new CEO rather. to have him come and meet all the members of the Metro Council. I also, before Sean comes up, would just like to say, when a CEO exits and you conduct a national search to find a new CEO, it's always important for an organization with a mission to continue that work, that the staff and the team members who are promoting that mission have someone to look to. And Josh Landry, who's here, was that interim role, and Josh did a phenomenal job. It's a great team at the YMCA, and I wanted to also honor the time he spent as the interim CEO. So thank you, Josh, for that service. And now I'll ask Sean to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to the council at large. That warm welcome, I appreciate it, Rowdy. Coming to you guys from Green Bay, Wisconsin, where I was the president and CEO for 6 years. So just a slight temperature difference for me and my family. But I'll be brief and just really want to say thanks and appreciation for you guys letting us serve your districts and your communities since 1917. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. We served over 70,000 people last year through programs like youth sports, teaching kids how to swim, our membership, and on our teen mentoring program. So, I don't feel shy about saying to you, our goal is to double down. We want to serve more kids, we want to serve more families, and most importantly, we as an organization awarded over $1 million last year in financial assistance to those kids and families so they could continue those vital YMCA services. So we're really passionate about growing our YMCA impact. I'm personally very passionate about collective impact and partnering with other great community organizations. And wow, for a kid from Philadelphia, this is an amazing day. I just want to say thank you and congratulate all the other organizations for being recognized here today. So once again, just thank you. We look forward to serving you, and please keep the Y in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the presentation portion of our meeting. We will reconvene at 4 p.m. for the regular meeting of the Metropolitan Council.
I don't think we have enough. One. Cleve.
All right, ready? Yep. Good hand. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Council Chamber of East Baton Rouge Parish. It's Celebration Day in the city of Baton Rouge because tonight at the box, the Metropolitan Council and the mayor invite you to join us as we celebrate the LSU Fighting Tiger baseball team who has won the NCAA National Championship for the second time in the last 3 years. And while we're bragging on the Tigers, also the SEC has won 6 straight SEC championships. They won that. Then they have won also the national championship in Omaha, Nebraska. So congratulations
to them. But on behalf of the council, we'd like to see all of you tonight at LSU at the box. Only 5 days left until the year is half over. Good to have all of you watching tonight. And at this time here is the Mayor President Pro Tem of East Baton Rouge Parish, Councilman Brandon Nolan.
Thank you, Dennis. Welcome everybody to the Metropolitan Council meeting this Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. We'll call the meeting to order. Ashley, do we have a quorum?
We have a quorum.
All right, we're going to have an invocation and pledge by, I think, Ms. Baptiste.
Let us bow our heads. Father God, we thank you right now in the name of Jesus Christ. Lord, we thank you for another opportunity to see another day that you have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad therein. Dear God, we ask that you would allow your Holy Spirit to be in the midst of this meeting tonight, Heavenly Father, that we may do things in decency and in order, and that whatever we do will glorify you and push our city straight ahead. God, I ask that you would bless our leaders right now. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 1, adoption and approval of the minutes. Approval and adoption of minutes of the Metropolitan Council meeting of June 11th, 2025, and the Metropolitan Council zoning meeting of June 11th and June 18th, 2025 by the Council Administrative Treasurer. We have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Amorosa, second by Councilman Gode. Any opposed? Motion carries. Ashley, can you read introductions, please?
Section 2.12, Introductions. Number 2, granting a 5-year property tax abatement estimated at $937 per year for Mead LLC located at 1704 South Street by Planning Director. Number 3, authorizing the Mayor President to execute a collection agreement with Southern University Economic Development District to collect and distribute the 1% sales tax and 1% occupancy tax levied by the district effective July 1st, 2025 by the Finance Director. Number 4, amending the 2025 annual operating budget to appropriate $60,500 from the general fund balance unassigned for the purchase of 12 replacement portable radios for the EBRP Coroner's Office by the Mayor President and the East Baton Rouge Parish Coroner. Number 5, amend the 2025 pay plan for the classified, unclassified, and non-classified contract fire and police employees of the City of Baton Rouge and Parish of East Baton Rouge so as to make following changes effective July 26, 2025. Amending the base salary range for several pay grades, increasing the pay grade for certain classifications, Chief EMS Operations Officer to Deputy Chief EMS Operations Officer, Emergency Communications Chief of Operations, and EMT Training Officer, and to amend the classified and unclassified appendix by the Interim Emergency Medical Services Administrator and the Human Resources Director. Number 6, authorizing the Mayor President to amend the professional services contract with Convenient Care LLC, Total Occupational Medical, to add cancer screening services for retired and active firefighter and fire service employees with the Baton Rouge Fire Department as required by Louisiana Act 554 beginning in 2025 in an amount not to exceed $395,000 annually by the Human Resources Director. Condemnation introductions. Number 7, Clarence Grantine Jr., 5106 Annette Street, Council District 5, Hearst. Number 8, Mary Alice Grimes Pearl, 4740 Mohegan Street, Council District 7, Harris. Number 9, Philip Harlow, 3219 Wyandotte Street, Council District 7, Harris. Number 10, Brandon Vaughn Wesson, 5669 Cyrus Avenue, Council District 7, Harris. Number 11, Elmore G. Anderson, 1706 North 23rd Street, Council District 7, Harris. Number 12, Michael D. Ambo, 6414 Kincaid Avenue, Council District 7, Harris. Number 13, Bobby M. Horton, 3217 Oswego Street, Council District 7, Harris. Number 14, Robbins Reynolds, LLC, 4063 Mohegan Street, Council District 7, Harris. Number 15, Prudent Acquisitions, LLC, 3695 North Foster Drive, Council District 7, Harris. Number 16, Kevin Douglas Knighton, 2387 Virginia Street, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 17, Dorothy M. Matevia, 820 Julia Street, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 18, Warren Lee Hurd, 2220 Dayton Street, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 19, Eber Sante Pelico and Joshelle Maria Henderson, 2520 Lobelia Avenue, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 20, Collis B. Temple Jr. and Sandra Johnson, 940 East Boulevard, Council District 10, Coleman. All items that require reading have been read. A motion to delete items 3, 5, and 48 at the request of the departments and introduce all other items is in order.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Hudson, second by Councilman Goday. Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm going to go to condemnations. Recommendations from DPW are proceed with items 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 66, 67, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, and 75. 60 days on item 64 and to delete items 65 and 68. I'm going to have a public hearing. Is anyone here wishing to speak on any of these items? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Hang on one sec. We got some recommendations. Council McKinney?
Okay, 54, 60, 55, 30, 61, 30.
54, 60 days,
55, 30.
30 days.
And 61, 30.
All right, and then I have from District 7, item 57, 58, 69, and 70 for 30 days. And then 90 days on item 56. District 10, we have 52, 53, and 60 for 30 days. And then item 74 for 60 days. Anybody else? I already have that. You said don't or do? Okay. Okay, we have to proceed with items 50. Wait. Hang on, sorry. Okay, proceed with items 50, 51, 59, 62, 63, 66, 67, 71, 72, 73, and 75. 30 days on items 52, 53, 55, 57, 58, 60, 61, 69, and 70. 60 days on items 54, 64, and 74. And 90 days on items 56. Delete items 65 and 68. We have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Amorosa, second by Councilman Hurst. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 76, an ordinance approving a design for the official flag of the parish of East Baton Rouge by Councilman Aaron Moak. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item?
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 76.
Seeing none, we'll go to council. Councilman Moak?
Thank you. Fellow council members, Mayor Edwards' office, I want to present someone that has worked pretty diligently. You know, several months ago, actually, it was quite a while ago, there was presented a flag to each one of y'all for East Baton Rouge Parish. And this gentleman just kind of presented it, talked a little bit about it and so on. But, you know, started looking at it, it kind of sat on the desk, and we thought, why not go ahead and move forward with this? There's only 2 other parishes right now that have a flag that represents the parish as a whole. We have a City of Baton Rouge flag, we have the state flag, and of course the United States flag. But I thought, why not? We have 5 entities in this city now: St. George, Central, Baker, Zachary, and the City of Baton Rouge also. then we have the parish as a whole. So what better way to represent the unifying and unity of working under one flag for East Baton Rouge Parish? So this gentleman right here that created this flag, not only, he works for City Parish, actually. So that's one great thing. He works for Public Works Department. So he has a vested interest in his parish, wants to see great things, but he also has a hobby of designing flags. Now, when you talk about does this person just sit around and draw stuff out? No. He actually studies the history, the colors, the representation, and the things. So if you wonder what all's been put into this flag and this design, I'm going to let him explain how and why this came up with. So at this time, I'd like to call Mr. Mark LeBlanc up to the podium to tell us about the flag.
Hello, everybody. I actually brought one just to put up here for a couple of minutes. So, yeah, this flag I started working on last year. I worked with Dennis on the city flag in 1995, so I said maybe the parish could use a flag as well, because it's becoming a trend around the country that counties also have flags. And we have 2 parishes in Louisiana that have flags, St. Bernard's Parish and Plaquemines Parish. So I said, well, why not East Baton Rouge? And I think it would be great to have one flag to represent everybody who lives here. We have the city flag, and, you know, Baker, Zachary, Central, and St. George may want to come up with their own flag design one day. So anyway, to briefly explain what the flag means, when the French explorers came up or sailed up the Mississippi River, they saw tree trunks with animals hanging on it and blood on it. So the red stick kind of symbolically represented between the 2 white lines here. The red field represents the blood that the French explorers saw. And we have the Mississippi River, which is very important to our economy and to our culture here. And then we have a shield, which we currently have on the city flag, that represents the 3 countries that held this area: the fleur-de-lis of France, Spanish Castle, and the Union Jack of Great Britain. They all held this particular area during the history of Baton Rouge and East Baton Rouge Parish. So that's kind of where the symbology came for the flag. I'm a member of the North American Vexillological Association, a bunch of flag people. And they actually looked at it, they liked it, and we made a few little changes and tweaks, but you know, I think it would be great if we had a parish flag to represent us, and that's, you know, I had to say at this point. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to address them.
And with that, council members, you see the thought and thought process and the design by it. I would like to make a motion to approve this flag for East Baton Rouge Parish.
Motion by Councilman Moe, second by Councilman Hudson. Any opposition? Oh, Councilman Kenny. Oh, okay. Councilman Hudson.
I'll just briefly say I want to thank Mark. Mark, the diligence that you've put into this work really speaks to the diligence of the way you've served City Parish throughout your career. Mark has been on the retirement board. Mark has served. I don't even know how long you've been here, Mark. I know you've been here since I've been here for sure. So. And so I just want to say we appreciate you and the diligence you've put into this project, but we appreciate the diligence that you've put into your entire career in serving City Parish. So thank you.
I appreciate that. It's been 36 years, so and it's been a great career here. City Parish is like a family, and I've worked in 2 departments: finance and now Public Works, environmental services, and a lot of great people, a lot of hardworking and dedicated people. Oh, if y'all have approved it, I've actually taken the liberty of buying a 5-foot by 8-foot version that y'all can fly outside, and I want to donate it to the parish as the first flag, and then
So at this time, we'd like to have the mayor come up, and to each one of y'all council members, we would like to present the newly approved flag of East Baton Rouge Parish.
Y'all want to go ahead and vote? Y'all want to vote on it first?
Oh, I thought you already did. No objection.
Any objection?
No.
No
Let's
objection.
take a picture
Okay.
down there with it.
Thank you. All right, here, you want to? There you go. want to go up here and?
Go. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
If we could get Dennis from Public Relations to just hold the flag up behind us for the rest of the meeting.
I want to thank Mark. Mark and I grew up 3 houses down from each other.
Yeah, we
And I walked up and he said, "Hey, Brian." My real name's Brian, by the way. So from back in the day, I just want to thank you, 1, for your service, and 2, it's absolutely beautiful. So God bless you and thank you. It'll be flying tomorrow. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Senior Mayor, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, moving on. A resolution calling item 77, a resolution calling a special election to be held in Fire Protection District Number 6 in East Baton Rouge Parish, State of Louisiana, on Saturday, November 15, 2025, for renewal of the levy and collection of the ad valorem property tax of 5 mills in each calendar year and all property subject to taxation in the district for a period of 9 years, commencing in and including the year 2026 to and including the year 2034, which estimated amount of such tax reasonably expected to be collected from such renewal is approximately $351,194.50 for each entire year of the levy, with the avails of proceeds of said tax to be used entirely and exclusively for the development, operation, and maintenance of the fire protection facilities of the district, including the cost of obtaining water for fire protection purposes and fire hydrants within the district, making application to the Louisiana State Bond Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith by Fire Protection District Number 6. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Hudson, second by Councilman Hurst. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 78, authorizes the Mayor President to execute a contract with corporate mechanical contractors for HVAC labor only and chiller labor and materials at various city parish buildings in the amount of $1,750 by Building and Grounds Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Moak, second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Any opposed? Motion carries. 79, authorizing Mayor President to enter into an agreement with Tyler Technologies, Inc. for maintenance and support of the Munis and Executime software platforms in an amount not to exceed $475,000 for a term of July 14, 2025 to July 13, 2026 by Information Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. Have a motion. Motion by Councilman Kennedy, second by Councilman Goday. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 80, authorizing Mayor President on behalf of the Baton Rouge Police Department to enter into an access agreement contract with Half Moon Pictures LLC for the documentary television series currently entitled On Patrol Live. The Baton Rouge Police Department will be compensated for the licensing rights and will commence on the effective date of the agreement through and including May 15, 2026 by the police chief. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Chief?
Evening, Council. I'm sure y'all going to have questions during your time, but I just wanted to take a second and say this is something I'm very excited about. I know it's just been on the agenda since 2 weeks ago, and so it's kind of new to some people, but it's a project I've been researching for over a year now. Have many conversations with the actual TV and production company, as well as current and former police departments that have participated in this TV show over the past 7 years of its existence. I think it's going to be amazing, not only for the Baton Rouge Police Department, but for the city of Baton Rouge. This show is not a reality TV show, as been portrayed in the news. It is more of a documentary, and they much rather show the positive side of law enforcement and community interactions than anything negative. We have a lot of control over how the show is done, what officers are on there, where those officers patrol, what work they do. And like I said, I'm looking forward to any questions y'all have, but I'm very excited about this prospect on how it'll push forward the branding and help us with recruiting of the Baton Rouge Police Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone else wishing to speak on this item? Mayor, please.
Just speaking on behalf of the chief, my support for this TV show. Looking into it and talking to Chief LaDuff and talking to Chief Morse, any opportunity to shine positivity on our parish or in particular Baton Rouge and the positive stories. We know in law enforcement we often hear the negative, right? But this is, I think, a huge opportunity to spotlight and shine on the beautiful things our local police department does indeed do. So just speaking on support of the chief and the Baton Rouge Police Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Anyone else wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Councilman Kenny.
All right, Chief Morris, a quick question right quick. So I know I had a couple constituents reach out. I think some of their concerns was, is this not a Cops 2.0? I think that's the reality show that most of us kind of grew up watching on TV around policing in a sense. So just what separates On Patrol from any other, I don't want to say, I know it's not a reality TV show about you all said, but what separates this show from any other, previous police-related shows that's been on TV?
Yes, sir. Great question. Thank you for that. And I'm not going to talk negative about Cops, but this is definitely not that type of show. Cops was kind of back in the 90s, and it was 30 minutes of high octane, high adrenaline, just go, 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 and probably a lot of it was actually even staged. This is more of a documentary following what police work is all about. What the public sees is 10% of police work. This is showing the other 90% of the community interaction, showing the human behind the badge. What also separates this show is that this show realizes that the viewers, and what they've shown in their marketing and their ratings, is the viewers would much rather see a traffic stop done by a police officer that ends with a warning and advice about where to get the best slice of pizza than they would a vehicle pursuit. And so this show really highlights those kind of things on a daily basis. They show the officers walking a beat, going downtown, showing the festivals that are happening in the city, and it brings tourism to the areas that the show is in.
So, and I guess it's sale record as well. What is the oversight that you and your office would have, I guess, with, what's aired on this particular show?
So on the front end, I'm going to have all the oversight on what officers are doing or on the show, and then what those where areas those officers are patrolling and what action those officers are taking. On the back end, we have about a 30-minute window where we get to watch the show live, and if there's anything that happens on the show, we have control to then say, no, we're not going to show that because it constitutes something wrong with our investigation or officer safety, or just because we don't like it. I've reached out to many other departments, and they've never had an issue of anything that they didn't want to go on the show then happening live. Other thing, so the show does happen live Fridays and Saturday nights, but they film during the week. During the week, they'll come out, and if we're doing a community walk in Glen Oaks, then they'll go and follow the officers doing a community walk and saying hi to people, and that will make the show on Friday and Saturday nights. If they were with us right now, they would be downtown at the River Center checking out the bowling and watching officers interact with the people at the bowling. Friday night high school football games, all those kind of things in between.
Yes, and I appreciate for that, Chief. I guess the other concern is the 10%, right? Because obviously, and we talked about this as well, there'll be certain stops that'll be shown, right? And I think the biggest thing a lot of people want to make sure, because oftentimes crime is often put on the northern part of the parish. And so, we just want to, making sure it's a diversity, if in that 10% is a diversity of what's shown and what's happening in the community.
Yes, sir, I can definitely appreciate that. And let me say this is definitely an exercise in trust, right? And I ask that you're going to trust me. If we're on Friday night and we're doing an arrest, catching a burglar in North Baton Rouge and Gus Young, where I used to work, right? Saturday night, I'm gonna tell my guys, look, we're not going in that area. Let's go someplace else. Let's go walk around downtown and show off the bars, and let's show off some of the community things we have going on. And I'm gonna have that kind of control over what we're doing.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
All right, Chief. Can you tell us a little bit about why you see this as a benefit or as a tool that you can use, whether it be for recruitment or just for showcasing the city and the way you view it?
Yeah, so the way I view it is we're always looking for ways to increase our branding, telling our full story. Baton Rouge Police Department is one of the premier departments in the entire country. Not everybody knows that. Not everybody knows that we're CLIA accredited. Not everybody knows that when we go out on a call of a vehicle burglary, we have drones with FLIR technology in the trunks of police cars that we can automatically throw up in the air and try to find those people and track them. Not everybody knows of all the training that our officers go through. And this is just be a good way for people to say, wow, Baton Rouge has an amazing police department and they know what they have going on. It will shine a spotlight on that. And then when it just comes to the city, the way I have it visioned is some people that may never even want to talk to the police, once we're on the show and some of these officers become mini celebrities, that's going to be a foothold to get into some of these schools and some of these organizations. And those officers can then go and bring their message and talk to those kids and talk to those organizations and build better community partnerships.
Okay, Chief, how about one of the things that has been brought up to me by one of my constituents was this is going to get away in the way of their policing. They have a job to do, and this is going to be kind of just an extra liability for the officer to be worried about when they're trying to do their job, or is going to get in the way from them actually doing their job. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so that's definitely something to consider and something I've considered with my training background and SWAT background, right? So the officers that we would choose for this would have very similar training to officer that's in the FTO program and has to watch out for a rookie officer. The camera crew themselves, this show's been around for a long time, the camera crew is very highly trained. Their whole motto is to just be flies on the wall and not get in the way. And so we would definitely be cognizant of that. The officers that are chosen for this are going to have extra training before the show even starts on everything from tactics and then media and presentation so that they represent well.
Okay. Last thing is there's been mention about some of the verbiage in the contract on the availability for things to be used in perpetuity. And I know you've heard a little bit about that. Can you speak to that a little bit and if that's a concern for you?
So one thing I'll say about the contract is that the show is actually owned by, it's on 2 different networks on Fridays and Saturday nights, but the show is actually owned by Amazon. So you got a bunch of Amazon attorneys that have combed through this thing and standard contract that they've used for every police department. Part of the agreement is that it is their footage, right? They film it, so it is their footage. That is good for us because then that footage is not FOIA or public records request, right? That is theirs and nobody can get a hold of that. Of course, if somebody wants footage from our body-worn cameras, they can still get a hold of that through public records request. But this footage is theirs to use. Their standard practice is that they delete all footage after 30 days because, as you can imagine, there are 9 or 10 different departments with cameras rolling. It's a lot of footage to store, and so that footage gets wiped out and erased after 30 days. But it is part of the contract that has been gone through. It's their footage.
Okay, and then as far as what's aired, you have some discretion over that as well, right?
Correct. I get to, I or somebody on my senior staff, of course, the first several weeks, it's going to be me, right? Because I'm asking y'all to trust me on this, it's going to be me. Get to the link, and we get to watch the viewing live, and it actually doesn't hit the TV until about 15 or 30 minutes later. And so I have full control over picking up the phone and talking to the producer and say, we're not going to show that, and this is why. Everybody I've talked to in other departments has never had an issue with this, and anytime that I would have an issue, if Friday night I pick up the phone and say, hey, we don't want to show that, and it shows anyway, if we're halfway through the shift, the cameras are coming out of my cars by the end of the shift, and they're not coming back. And We've made that very clear to the show, and they are very on board with that, and they've never had an issue.
Good, okay. Parish Attorney's Office, if I can have somebody come speak on the contract. I'm assuming y'all comb through this contract just like the Amazon attorneys like Chief talked about, but with that portion that talks about in perpetuity, did that give y'all any heartburn, or what did you think about that as far as it being able to be used in perpetuity?
Our typical contract, it's not like this. Usually the city owns the data, but this is different. This is a filming company, and you don't have any issue with that, do you?
I don't.
Okay.
The ownership isn't a question of law. It's more of a matter of policy.
Okay. And for me, I can tell you, I think I understand the concern there, but I think, again, with Chief, if you have the ability to stop something from being run.
He's got a gun on.
Well, that's right. That's right. So, thank you. That's all I have. Chief, I guess I'd say I feel like you've given us no reason not to trust you, and you've been forthcoming with everything we've asked, and you see this as a tool.
I'll say this too, Councilman. If I was the sheriff, this would already been signed and done, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm coming towards y'all means y'all have some control over the show as well,
Sure.
right? So if y'all are seeing something, look, Chief, all you got to do is call me, and we'll say, hey, officers, y'all aren't doing it this night, or y'all aren't going in this area, y'all not doing these type of things, right? We're not doing DWI enforcement on a Friday night because this is going on. We will have that front side control. And since, our answer to y'all will have control over that as well.
Well, I appreciate that, but I believe in giving people tools that they need to do, and this is a revenue neutral. As I understand it, they're going to cover any overtime. I think that's a positive thing, so it's not costing the city, and you see it as a tool to help you, and I always want to be able to provide you with whatever tools you need to do your job. The only other thing I'll say is, if your officers do have good recommendations for pizza places, I'm always looking for those, so we can get those sent
I can hook you up with Latin food. You got to remember, my brother-in-law owns two Latin food.
I don't discriminate when it comes to food, as you can tell. So, thanks, Chief. Councilman Hurst.
Yeah, I mean, my wife is a huge crime show buff, so we watch First 48 and all these other. I always say, babe, are you planning for my exit? But what I've learned, even by watching those shows, it doesn't deter people from going from Memphis or any other place where they do it. Actually makes the officers celebrities. It's pretty much all it does, right? It's based on what I've seen, but it also shows that they do their due diligence to make sure that they arrest people and respond to crime to create the best level of public safety. So you have no issue with me, and you told me something a while back about why we pay less for our dogs than most folks. Can you explain that? And this is what I wanted to say, something that can be highlighted in the show about how we set the bar in that space and help other municipalities. You can speak about your dog trainer.
Yeah, so we had the very first ever United States Police Canine Association canine training facility recognized by the United States Police Canine in the entire country here. That tradition has continued. So we train our own German Shepherd or Belgian Malinois police dogs that we get overseas. We train them ourselves. And so because of that, we pay at least half, sometimes less half price than a lot of other agencies who get their dogs pre-trained from other vendors. We do that here. We train other departments. Hammond has a couple of handlers that are about to be coming through that we train them as well. We just hosted regionals, or we hosted nationals last year. We just participated in a regional canine competition. We finished first, second, and third. So very similar, and people don't know that kind of thing, and that's kind of what I'm talking about, pushing our branding so that people can understand.
So I think from a branding perspective, as long as it's diverse, like my fellow colleague, Councilmember Kenny said, it's on both sides of town. It's in Shenandoah Country Club, Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
Scotlandville area. I know y'all don't have a country club, but you get the point of what I'm saying. Bocage, wherever it is, to make sure that it's no disparities in where you film and who gets to have their 15 seconds of fame on your show. I don't see an issue. But what I will say is that you will have my vote, because you're either doing one thing, you're either advancing your department or you're signing your resignation letter. So you and I have talked about that. Like when you are in a position like this in leadership, you have to think outside of the box. You're struggling right now in terms of recruitment. You feel like this is a big tool that can advocate of why people should come to BRPD versus the murder scenes that they see on the internet all day long. So you'll have my support. But again, say this in front of the administration and everybody else. It's either going to move Baton Rouge forward or we'll have a new police chief. Just being honest with you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I appreciate it, man. I mean, if it frowns upon our city and it turns us and does the opposite of what, somebody got to be the fall guy, and you at the mic.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Councilwoman Harris.
Hey, Chief. We met yesterday and spoke to you on yesterday twice and a few minutes ago. And I would like for you to reiterate what you just said to us, that if the rails come off and you started out this filming from a holistic approach, the good that officers do in our community, and it happens to go in a whole totally different direction, and it begins to paint our city in such a negative way. You said a second ago, all we have to do is call,
Yes, ma'am.
and you're accountable for that.
Yes, ma'am.
And if the request is to pull it altogether, will you do that?
Yes, ma'am. 100%.
So we got him on record saying this now.
If it is not accomplishing my vision and my goal to, one, increase the brand of the Baton Rouge Police Department and shine a good light on the city of Baton Rouge,
Right.
then it's failed and we don't need to do it anymore.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Dunn Jr.
Thank you. As I've expressed to Chief and many of my colleagues, I have several issues with this item and with this show. Chief, you mentioned that your concern was making sure you promote or brand the department. My concern is the promotion and the branding of the city and the parish. It's no secret that we have a crime issue in the city of Baton Rouge, the parish of East Baton Rouge Parish. I don't understand why we would want to amplify that on a national level. I understand you saying that they're going to follow the law enforcement officers, and I'm sure they're going to show some, human element interactions with folks. But I've spoken to you, I've spoken to the producer, I've seen the show, multiple episodes of the show, following multiple departments, and there is a cops element to it. I know you guys don't want to adapt the branding or the name of a reality show, whether it's a reality show or a documentary. It's still documenting and highlighting, in my opinion, and elevating our crime issue. So I have concerns about that. From a tourism standpoint, Councilman Hurst talked about Memphis and things of that nature. We're not New York, we're not LA, we're not even Memphis. So many of those places, folks are gonna go there anyway because they're a major market, have major attractions and things of that nature. We don't have that benefit. So we can't have a negative reflection of Baton Rouge or amplifying of the crime issue that we have not solved and gotten our heads wrapped around to get it in a better place, in my opinion. I think about the tourism, I think about the economic development impact. So there's a business and financial impact that I think this show can be negative towards the city of Baton Rouge. Now I'm gonna go on to the human element. When you look at interactions with law enforcement, whether it's the investigation process, whether it's some sort of roadside conversation or disagreement that's highlighted on a national level, rebranded or remarketed on YouTube and potentially being on social media, and if you're an individual that's going through a hiring process and a potential employer is watching that, or you're attempting to get into some sort of institution of learning, higher learning, or a trade, how are those who are evaluating you as an individual, your personality and things of that nature going to affect your upward mobility in life? These are the things that concern me. If you look at, the news and media put out folks who have been detained or arrested, well, there's been, at least over the last 6 months to a year, laws have been passed to put statements under those images to say, hey, these individuals have not been convicted of a crime. Why has that happened? Because data has shown that those images being shown on social media, on TV, in the media, has a negative impact on those individuals' upward mobility. That's a serious concern for me. And oftentimes, because you're investigated, questioned, detained by law enforcement, it doesn't mean that you're guilty of what they're alleging. It means you're going through the process for them to investigate. But oftentimes people see that and see you in a criminal way or see the person as convicted already. This show does not blur faces. You see clearly who they're talking to, investigating, and having conversations with. So these are many of the concerns I have. I don't think this is going to be a positive for the people of Baton Rouge. I don't think it's going to be a positive for the city. So this is why I will be voting against this. Thank you.
Anybody else? Thanks, Chief. All right. Do we have a motion? We have a motion by Councilman Moog, second by Councilman Hudson. Anybody opposed? We have one objection. Motion carries.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Two objections? Well, let's vote on the machines.
I'm asking for the opportunity to get the 3 minutes. I know I came to the meeting, but I walked in, he was already speaking.
If a council person wants to ask you a question, once we turn it over to the council, the public hearing's over. If anybody have a question?
Will a
Mr.
council
Chairman?
member give me the ability to speak for 3
Mr. Dunn
minutes?
Jr., you have your second 5 minutes.
I just want to say, as this vote is already taking place, I agree with much of what I heard from Councilman Dunn, the concerns that came from other colleagues on the council. A lot of negative images come out of the Baton Rouge Police Department. We're going to now pay $100,000 to put that on a broadcast for a department that wants to pick and choose what incidents they allow the public to see. Right now, there are videos that we've asked to be seen by the police department from the last month, not from 3 months ago, not from 6 months ago, from the last month, that BRPD does not want to allow people to see the actions of police officers. That is unjust. We also have lawsuits that this city has refused to settle, but we have another $100,000 to give to an agency to broadcast their police department that we won't even put Greg Rome in a box on to deal with. So it is very insulting. I think it's also concerning for the community that so many people get to have their likeness, their image displayed in ways that is not beneficial to them. But if an officer is in any way shown in a negative light, the department does everything they can to make sure that that officer is protected, that their image is shown in a fair light. We should have the same dispositions about the citizens of our community. I think one of the most disheartening parts of this to me is that when we see the actions that are taking place in our community, it is a tragedy what happened to that officer in this community last week. A tragedy. And it's happened in part because we refuse to be accountable about things that take place in our community on a day-to-day basis. It's unjustifiable. None of those things should happen. Officers should be able to go home to their families at night. Citizens should be able to go home to their families at night. But the way that that happens is hard conversations. Hard conversations that we don't want to have. Transparency that we don't want to give. Truth that we don't like to hear. I'm speaking to a public official, and I was not disrespectful. And that is the problem in our community. When people as citizens are communicating directly with their government, we tell the citizen to not talk to them, the people that we pay with our tax dollars. If you get paid $200,000 a year, you ought to be able to take a little criticism.
Chief, can you come respond to my concerns? What are your response to my concerns? The economic development impact, the tourism impact, and the personal elements impact.
So you started off by talking about highlighting crime problem. All you have to do is look at WFB, WBRZ, and they're going to show you that Baton Rouge has a crime problem. What this is going to do is show you that we have a very well-trained police department to handle that crime problem. When you look at other cities that are on this show, they highlight things that are going on in the department by having the officer walk a street beat through that festival, and then that festival is now known nationwide. So people want to come to that festival and check it out because they saw the officers there participating in it, and now it's known by the viewers that are on there.
The human impact?
So for the human impact, I agree. We need more human interaction between officers, and we need that shown. We need that shown. And this show does that.
I'm specifically talking about the investigation process that targets an individual who has not been convicted and how that's going to impact their upward mobility in life.
Yes, sir. So the show, some of it, they do blur faces. They do. They won't show things that are live, like on a traffic stop, until they know for sure where that is going. Until they know for sure what is the outcome. They will not show that. Pre-recorded things that happened earlier in the week, they get permissions to do, and they know the outcome of that case. They may show that the faces are not blurred. So it's a combination of the two on the show on the Friday and Saturday night. Right now, we have public records requests every morning at about 5 a.m. from WFB and WBRZ for everybody we arrested the night before. Any of that is subject to be blasted on social media, online, through the news. When we arrest people, we put their face on our Facebook page. I don't think there's much different than that. We are definitely going to be in tune and make sure that, to the best of our ability, that we definitely don't want to ruin anybody's lives over some kind of mix-up.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to vote on the machines. Oh, Councilwoman Harris, sorry.
Chief, come up, please. Can you address what Mr. Chambers said about the $100,000? Can you clear that up for us, please?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that came from because this show is not costing us anything. The show, of course, is going to incur us some overtime things to adjust officers' hours and for us to review, for me and my command staff to review. Of course, I don't make overtime, but if somebody on my senior staff was watching it. But what the show does is then it reimburses us all that overtime that is spent. No money will be coming out of our budget at all. The show reimburses all of that money. I don't know where that $100,000 is. That's not a thing.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else?
I want to bring Mr. Chambers back up.
Sure. You can ask
Gary?
me.
Please tell me, where did you get that we would be paying?
No, he said it right.
$100,000?
I misspoke in how I said it, but the $100,000 that we're getting in from this company, to me, we can find money to do things like that, but we can't find money to solve this lawsuit that we have. That money that they're paying is crumbs to embarrass the people of this community.
Okay, all right.
The money that the show is going to pay, that was written in the newspaper,
Okay.
that $100,000 in overtime that we're going to give to whomever that is, that we find money to do a lot of things that don't solve the injustices that happen in this community. And we're going to expose and embarrass people within this community and get paid overtime to do so.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
All right, we're going to vote on the machines.
Machines are open on the motion to approve item 80. Motion carries.
Item 81, authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute supplemental agreement number 1 with Garver LLC to provide bidding services and construction administration for the 22R threshold repairs in an amount not to exceed $39,500 by the aviation director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Amoroso. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 82, authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute a contract with Clean Force LLC for floor care services by the Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport in an amount not to exceed $124,906.05 by the aviation director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Amoroso. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 83, a resolution setting the amount of the local hospital assessment payments for East Baton Rouge Parish Local Healthcare Provider Participation Program for fiscal year 2025 to direct how the revenue derived from local hospital assessment payments is to be spent and to set the amount to be paid in collection fees by the council administrator treasurer. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Goday. We have a second. Second by Councilwoman Amoroso. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 84, authorizing settlement of the pre-litigation claim of Irel Wisham for damages resulting from an auto accident caused by Baton Rouge police officer in an amount of $26,000 by the parish attorney. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Me too. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilman Hudson. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Goday. Any objection? I object. Item 85, rescinding and directing the clerk of court to cancel notice to attend recorded on January 13, 2025, and decision and order recorded on April 4, 2025, in the matter of City of Baton Rouge versus Juan R. Alexander, 3484 Myrtle Lawn Street. Reason for rescission: the property is being renovated by Councilwoman Harris. It's not being renovated by Councilwoman Harris. This is put on by Councilwoman Harris. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Harris, second by Councilman Kenny. Any opposed? Motion carries. You are not working on that house, right, Councilwoman? All right. Item 86, rescinding and directing clerk of court cancel notice to attend recorded on March 28, 2025 in the matter of City of Baton Rouge versus 180 Renovations LLC, 4812 Osborne Avenue. Reason for rescission, the property owner is getting a permit. This is by Councilwoman Harris. Any opposed? Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Harris. Second. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 87, authorizing Mayor President to execute a supplemental agreement number 3 in an amount of $31,816.13 to contract for professional engineering services with Bonton Associates LLC for services associated with the Move BR Capacity Project, Ardenwood Lobdell Connector, bringing the total amount of the contract to an amount not to exceed $785,481.62 by the Transportation and Drainage Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Harris, second by the chair. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 88, authorizing Mayor President to execute a supplemental agreement number 7 with Wagner Engineering for services associated with the Move BR Capacity Project, Jones Creek Road, Tiger Bend to Jefferson, in an amount not to exceed $24,335 by the Transportation and Drainage Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Hudson, second by the chair. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 89 has been a request to delete this item, rescinding Council Resolution 58620, awarding the contract for Old Hammond Highway Segment 1, South Flannery to Goodwood to Richard Price Contracting Company, LLC, and awarding the contract to the next lowest responsible bidder, Command Construction Industries, LLC, in an amount of $6,553,099.50 by the Transportation Drainage Director. Again, there's been a request to delete this item. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Hurst to delete. We have a second. Second by Councilman Hudson. Any opposed? Motion carries. Adjudicated properties, we're going to take item 90 through 111 together. 90, Lot 23, Square 9, Subdivision Greenville Extension, Metro Council District 7, Harris. 91, Lot 15A and 17A, Square 48, Subdivision Banks, Metro Council District 10, Coleman. Lot 92, number 92, Lot 29, Subdivision Scotlandville, Metro Council District 2, Kenny. High bidder, Kevin Williams, 1700. 93, Lot 19, Square 19, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Metro Council District 10, Coleman. High bidder, H2 Bravo Construction, $10,000. 94, Lot 2, 3, and 4, Square 8, Subdivision Scotland Heights, Metro Council District 2, Kenny. High bidder, Kenco LLC, $15,000. 95, Lot 10 plus, Square 16, Subdivision Banks, Metro Council District 7, Harris. High bidder, Kenco LLC, $17,000. Item 96, Lot 28, Square 9, Subdivision Greenville Extension, Metro Council District 7, Harris. High bidder, Ricky D. Griffin, $100. Item 97, Lot 22, Square 9, Subdivision Greenville Extension, Metro Council District 7, Harris. High bidder, Ricky D. Griffin, $3,000. Item 98, Lot 129, Subdivision Cedar Mill Run, Metro Council District 4, Moak. High bidder, Charlotte Harford, Lester Crystal, $100. 99, Lot 15, 16, 17, 18, Square 21, Subdivision Fortune, Metro Council District 5, Hearst. High bidder, Herbert Causey, $500. Item 100, Lot 11, Square 51, Subdivision Greenville Extension, Metro Council District 7, Harris. High bidder, Michael Johnson, $3,100. Item 101, Lot 30, Square 21, Subdivision Fortune, Metro Council District 5, Hearst. High bidder, Mary Gaither, $100. Item 102, Lot 66, Square 1, Subdivision Richmond Park, Metro Council District 10, Coleman. High bidder, Eric James Jr., $2,500. Item 103, Lot 19 plus, Square 39, Subdivision Banks, Metro Council District 2, Kenny. High bidder, Wallace Chambers, $200. Item 104, Lot 21, 22, 23, 24, and 39, Subdivision Banks, Metro Council District 2, Kenny. High bidder, Nathaniel Casher Jr., $6,100. Item 105, Lot 16, Square 30, Subdivision East Garden City, Metro Council District 5, Hearst. High bidder, Shawanda DePlanche, $100. Item 106, Lot 18, Square 30, Subdivision East Garden City, Metro Council District 5, Hearst. High bidder, Shawanda DePlanche, $100. Item 107, Lot 31 and 32, Square 4, subdivision Scotland Heights, Metro Council District 2, Kenny. High bidder Yvette Yolanda Lawrence, $30,000. Item 108, Lot 27, Square 1, subdivision Lavaro, Metro Council District 7, Harris. High bidder Louis Bernard, $500. Item 109, Lot 23, Square 9, subdivision Greenville Extension, Metro Council District 7, Harris. High bidder Pharaoh Johnson III, $23,100. Item 110, Lot 11, Square 38, subdivision Greenville Extension, Metro Council District 7, Harris. High bidder Michael W. Bailey, $100. Item 111, Lot 5, Square 11, subdivision South Baton Rouge, Metro Council District 10, Coleman. High bidder Darren Patterson, $3,500. Anyone here wishing to speak on any of these items? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilman Kenny. Any opposed? Motion carries. Going to go to administrative matters. Let's see. We've got three. We've got two introductions and one administrative emergency item. Can we take A and B together? Okay, I'm going to take A and B together. Administrative matter introduction. A, approving the levy and assessment pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 33-9038.62 E2B of the sales and use tax and hotel occupancy tax within Southern University Economic Development District as established by the district's Board of Commissioners by Councilwoman Carolyn Coleman. B, amending the 2025 expense budget for the Downtown Development District so as to appropriate $33,982 from the district's fund balance unassigned to provide funding for LED lighting upgrades within the downtown area by the Downtown Development District Director. Need a motion to waive the rules for the items to be introduced. Motion by Councilman public hearing. Is that what you were telling me? Okay. Motion by Councilman Hurst. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Kenny. We have a public hearing on the motion to waive the rules. Anyone want to speak on the motion to waive the rules? Seeing none, we have a vote on the motion to waive the rules. Any objection on the motion to waive the rules? No objection. We're going to need a motion to introduce the items. Motion by Councilman Hurst, second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Any opposed? Items have been introduced. Administrative matter C, change orders and emergency item, JDS Consulting, International Partners for Socially and Economically Disadvantaged Business Program. Original estimated cost of $49,995. Change order amount $41,520. New contract amount is $91,515 by the purchasing director. Need a motion to waive the rules. We have a motion to waive the rules. Motion by Councilman Hurst. We have a second by Councilwoman Amorosa. We have a public hearing on the motion to waive the rules. Anyone want to speak on the motion to waive the rules? Seeing none, we have a vote on the motion to waive the rules. Any objection on waiving the rules? We have a public hearing on the item. Anyone want to speak on the item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion by Councilman Hurst. We have a second. Second by Councilman Moak. Any opposed? Motion carries. Change orders. Item 112, parish-wide pavement remarking contractor, Pavement Markings, Inc. Change order amount credit $5,623.75. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council.
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 112.
Somebody's opposing us having a credit on the contract? Okay. Motion by the chair. Second by Councilman Goday. Any opposed? Motion carries. Final acceptance, parish-wide pavement remarking contractor, Pavement Markings, Inc. Final cost $1,590,000, $536.25. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Hurst. We have a second. Second by Councilman Hudson. Any opposed? Motion carries. Acceptance of low bids. Item 114, LA 30 Regional Force Main, NCMC LLC is low bid, $2,547,000. Item 115, Jones Creek Road Extension Clearing and Earthwork, Airline Highway to Tiger Bend, Boone Services LLC, low bid $7,285,000. I think that decimal's in the wrong spot. The extra decimal. It is $7,285,000. Item 116, Mall Louisiana Boulevard, RR Bridge and Pump Station, low bid Denley Brown Contractors LLC, $38,467, $38,467,477.20. Anyone here wishing to speak on these items? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilman Goday. Second by Councilman Hurst. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 117, receiving a legislative update report including but not limited to the 2025 Louisiana legislative session and bills related to the parish of East Baton Rouge, city of Baton Rouge, from Corson and Nickel by Councilman Dunn Jr. We're going to hear the report, and then we're going to have the public hearing.
Good afternoon. We had a full-scale report here that was quite lengthy. I think we're going to go with the abbreviated version. I think you all will be attending another event a little bit later, so we're going to try to move real quickly through this. I'm going to hit the first half of it. Jim will follow up. Jim Nickel will follow up right behind me. First of all, to start off, just letting you know we're very thankful for the opportunity to represent Baton Rouge in the state legislature. We consider working with you all an honor. To give you a perspective of the last year at the Capitol, we've been involved in approximately 7 legislative sessions, with a special session probably coming in August or September, which will be the 8th session. That being said, we come away with some really positive things for East Baton Rouge Parish. Real quickly, we were able to come away with $3.5 million for the Bowling Congress, which was a really big plus, I think, for Baton Rouge. Most people did not realize when we were working this appropriation to try and get in the appropriations bill that the economic impact was approximately 125 to 150 million to Baton Rouge. Of course, Jill Kidder and her team from Visit Baton Rouge was very influential in trying to help at the Capitol. It was a very positive reaction, and we ended up with the $3.5 million to assist. A special thanks in that regard to the LED Secretary Susan Bourgeois and Chris Stelly, Chairman Franklin Full, Senator Selders, Senator Edmonds, Senator Jimmy Harris from New Orleans, Chairman Womack, the Chairman of the Finance Committee, Senate President Cameron Henry, and Senator Regina Barrow were all very instrumental in getting that, and that was a major win for us. We also saw a lot of dollars come our way, headed to areas all over East Baton Rouge Parish, ranging from the Baton Rouge Parish flood risk to the tune of approximately $9 million in the capital outlay bill that Fred is very familiar with and has worked hand in hand with us over time. Others that appear to have received help include a number of items I'm going to hit on real quickly, but keep in mind that the governor still has line item veto ability, so that'll be coming probably over the next several days. Different areas that were covered is the old Governor's Mansion, the Baton Rouge Airport, Black History Hall of Fame, the Law Center building at Southern University, the Bluff Stabilization, the Accounting building at Southern, Nursing building, Ag Center, STEM Sciences building at Southern, at LSU, the Sciences building, Military Sciences building, Ag Center, building repairs, vet school, LSU Lakes, the Baton Rouge Community College, road widening and sewer improvements, the Comite River diversion, the USS Kidd, Old State Capitol, Capitol Area Groundwater Commission, and many more dollars that were there. A special thanks to our legislative delegation and each of you for constantly expressing the needs of our parish to that delegation. Course and nickel tracked hundreds of pieces of legislation throughout the entire legislative session. As you know, we've been sending reports out weekly of legislation that we feel impacts East Baton Rouge Parish or has the potential to affect us. These reports allow you to click on any bill, even currently, and we put a copy in the file folder of the latest version as of today. But you can click on that item and you can basically be allowed to get the digest of the bill, the text of the bill, the committee where it went to, the date of the hearing or action on that specific bill. And as I said, you're looking at the summary report that's in your file. With a session like the one we just went through, we were doing our best to watch everything that directly impacted local government or had the potential to be amended and would impact the East Baton Rouge area. We relied on staff in the mayor's office, finance, staff, parish attorney, and anyone that contacted us about a concern. Mason Batts, Tiffany Delapaz, and Angie Savoy were tremendous in helping during the session, along with many of you who contacted us on different items to be on the lookout for. We appreciate you very much and couldn't do it without you. If you would allow for just a minute for us to cover some of the top local and state issues that some of you expressed interest in, just so you have a real quick knowledge as you look through this report. Senate Bill 99 by Stuart Cathy. Senator Cathy was successful in repealing the speed photo enforcement throughout the state with a few exceptions, which one of the major one was the school zones. We worked with Senator Cathy and were successful in exempting Baton Rouge's program. This issue could have possibly cost Baton Rouge millions of dollars, probably in the neighborhood of $3 to $4 million. Senate Bill 179, also by Senator Cathy, was the rail car ad valorem rail issue, which spread the ad valorem dollars throughout the state. Baton Rouge will still receive a portion of these dollars, and with the help of many like Mayor Edwards, Senator Foyle, Sheriff Sid Gotro, it will not have a full reduction for approximately 3 years. So if you remember, that was going to be a reduction right from the beginning. House Bill 606 by Chris Turner would have exempted prescription drugs and insulin from local sales and use tax. That bill did not make it. It would have impacted the state by $346 million. The Baton Rouge impact was $28.5 million. And again, the bill never moved out of the House. House Bill 84 was by Dixon McMakin, sought to repeal CATS. This bill did not move. House Bill 86, that you'll see in your list of bills, was by Dixon McMakin. The BREC reorganization provided relative to membership of the board. It also passed with amendments. The bill was vetoed this week. So the McMakin bill is no longer in the mix. House Bill 649 by Representative Ventrella was basically the Mira bill. It did have 2 additional elements than McMakin. It had the change of membership, did not incorporate Central, but it did add a union member to the CATS board and also added additional reporting requirements in that bill. So that bill is in the process, and I think that bill has actually already been signed. Senate Bill 201 by Jimmy Harris was the major incentives bill, and for those of you that know Jimmy Harris from a New Orleans perspective, great senator, a great friend of Baton Rouge, he allowed us to be able to put the U.S. Bowling Congress in that bill, thus getting the $3.5 million. Senate Bill 91, that was by Senate President Pro Tem Regina Barrow, which directly addressed the 19th JDC court costs and inequities in the state system. It resulted in a $750,000 additional appropriation and a SR, Senate Resolution 120, to study and supplement this particular court action. So this was a really positive statement, and she will probably be coming again with this piece of legislation. Senate Bill 236 dealt with blight. SCR 62 was by Senator Barrow, which requires a statewide study of blight. Senate Bill 176 was by Franklin Full, which involved the reorganization of the entire Baton Rouge Airport organization and operation. This was led and assisted by Director Mike Edwards, who did an outstanding job and is one of the best airport directors in the state. Councilman Dunn, I'm sure you'll agree with that. He's phenomenal at what he does, and he was a big reason why that bill passed. And it did pass without one negative vote on it, which blew everybody away. House Bill 689, I do want to say real quickly, Senator Foyle was the author of that bill, Chairman Foyle, and he was phenomenal, patient. This bill had hundreds of hours that we spent studying this. And again, Councilman Dunn knows, being on that council, the airport council, this was a very difficult bill to pass. Real quickly, House Bill 689 by Chairman Desatel. This was a bill to take broadband essentially away from local government and would have placed it with the PSC, the Public Service Commission. This bill failed, and so this basically retains broadband with local government. House Bill 179 by Representative C. Denise Marcel allows Katz a union representative. This is a little bit different. She had it in two places, one with the Ventrella bill that she slipped in conference, and then here was separate. Also, House Bill 578, this is a real plus to Chairman Full and to Tiffany Delapas and Angie Savoy. This was a bill that basically dealt with state and local sales and use taxes and exemptions. We were able to get amendments in dealing with the prospective and retroactive piece of it, as well as some of the other elements that dealt with repairs and out-of-state issues. This ended up saving millions of dollars for local government. Real quickly, House Bill 88, Representative Danny McCormick. This was food and beverage. Local tax exemption would have impacted local government by $350 million, $44 million to East Baton Rouge, and it also failed. The last couple bills here, 528, 556, and 640 were all passed by Transportation Chairman Ryan Boyack. This was a governor-led effort to make DOTD easier for local government and state government to work with, and all three bills passed. House Bill 216 by Representative Stephen Jackson dealt with ethics, and for those of you that watch the ethics issues, this will require the Board of Ethics will be required to broadcast live all of its proceedings in public meetings. Each meeting shall be recorded and made available to the public for at least 2 years. And lastly, East Baton Rouge projects. As I mentioned, we provided a list in your packet of the capital outlay, supplemental appropriations, and the appropriations bill itself. Again, the governor is still reviewing all of those bills. I would like to once again give a special thanks to all of those who assisted. Our delegation, the Baton Rouge delegation, were phenomenal this year, all the way from, as I mentioned, Chairman Full a couple times, Senate President Pro Tem Regina Barrow, all the way across the board. Dixon McMakin is the chairman of the East Baton Rouge delegation. He was very involved. And then Representative Edmund Jordan is the chair of the Black Caucus, Legislative Black Caucus, and Edmund is always helpful. And again, I had pretty much all of them listed out, but all the way down to Representative Barbara Carpenter, Barbara Freiberg, et cetera, on the Appropriations Committee. We had a great group helping us. And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention our newest representative on the delegation is Representative Terry Landry. His father, many of you knew him, Colonel Terry Landry, and he's going to be a wonderful asset. Only arrived there about 3 or 4 weeks before the session ended, but helped us in a major way. Jim? Yeah, and I mentioned Rick. Yeah.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's good to be with you all. Bud hit all the specifics in these packets. If you haven't looked through them, they have the over 200 bills that we tracked. It has the list of the capital outlay. It has the HB1 appropriations that are specific to Baton Rouge. And then it has, of course, the supplemental appropriations. Go through those and we can meet privately if you want to talk about this. I'd probably want to make 3 comments. One, the pace of the session. This was a 45-day session. The legislature, in its wisdom, met mostly on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. So they compressed all the committees into 3 days. So we went from normally 5 to 6 committees a day to 15 committees a day. It was a very frantic pace. I would also say at East Baton Rouge Parish, being the largest metropolitan area in the state, you're in every committee. I mean, we're blessed with a lot of clients. Some of our clients are just in the Commerce Committee, some are just in the Health Committee. This city parish is in the Health Committee, the Transportation Committee, the Retirement Committee, the Local Municipal Committee, the Finance Committee, the Waste. It is a very, very broad range, and that makes sense because this is a big city. And I would say probably the last comment I would make is you're hearing speculation about a special session. That's being driven by 2 things. One is the whole fight over the PBM issue. If you've been following that in the media, I'm not going to go down that trail. The second would be the big, beautiful bill debate in Washington. Certainly as it came out of the House, Louisiana's health care funding was pretty safe. The Senate version, as of last week, would put a $4 billion hole in Louisiana's budget. There's a lot of work going on right now to try to reduce that. But I think we would see I think the goal for the Senate was to finish by July 4th. That's not going to happen. The U.S. senators are going to work over the holiday, try to finish for their August recess. I think we'll know by the end of July whether we're going to need a special session to address a $4 billion hole in Louisiana's budget, and that will ripple through everybody. That'll ripple through Baton Rouge. That'll ripple through every state agency. It will be very, very impactful. But anyway, I'm like Bud. I appreciate the opportunity to work with you all. We both live here. We love this city. We love this parish, and we love working with all of y'all. Yep. Sorry about that.
Could I mention this real quick? If I could just hit on these real quickly, because they're so helpful, and we probably work the legislature as hard or harder than anybody in that building. I do want to hit these real quickly just so that I didn't leave anybody out. Our dear friend Barbara Carpenter, Barbara Freiberg, Denise Marcel, Representative Roy Darrell Adams, and Vanessa LaFleur. These individuals are all on the Appropriations Committee. They were phenomenal. Also, former Chairwoman Paula Davis, Dixon McMakin, Kelly Hennessy, Emily Chenevert, Roger Wilder, Lauren Ventrella, Edmund Jordan, and newcomer Terry Landry, as I said a while ago. We do appreciate and love working with all of you. And if there's anything we can do, we're only a phone call away. This was it was the hardest session. I've been doing this 43 years, and I've never seen a session like this. It was really the hardest. So I hope this kind of covers some good ground for you, and I hope what we put together is helpful.
Thank you so much. We're going to have a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Then we'll go to council. Councilman Hudson.
This question, maybe one of you can answer it, but it may be better for our airport director, Mike Edwards. Now that the airport bill has passed, do we have a timeline or do we have a path forward for how that legislation is going to impact operations at the airport?
Thank you, Councilman. I appreciate the question. So the next step in the process will be to come back to Metro Council for the council to adopt the enabling legislation that was passed through the legislature. So that is now, it's been signed by the governor. It's bill number 118. So that the Federal Aviation Administration requires that we do a 30-day public notice before the public hearing on that approval. So we anticipate introducing an item mid-July, and then the 30 days would be sometime in August. We'll come back to the council for that public hearing. We'll also need the council to adopt articles of incorporation for the new airport authority. So I've emailed all of you draft articles of incorporation. If you have any questions on those, just please let me know. They are in draft form up until the approval. And then the final step would be in January on the schedule, the FAA's approval of the change in sponsorship. So
And I just want to thank you. I think I saw you down at session almost every day that I was there. So you guys worked it hard. Of course, Nickel worked it hard, and we appreciate everything you did this session. So thank you.
Thank you.
If I could add to that, council members and Councilman Hudson, Stephen Baldwin and Associates, the consultants that helped guide us through this process, sent emails reaching out to all of us to have sit-downs with us to kind of give us a detailed overview of the process, the next steps. So if you hadn't had an opportunity to do that this past week or two, definitely reach back and respond to them, and they'll sit down with you, with Mike and with Lewis, and go over that in detail. But they've been making efforts to reach out to all of us to give us all that information.
Councilman Hurst.
Yeah, and also I had my meeting yesterday, so it was a good meeting. I came late, but I still got enough in a short period. I went to the airport instead of coming here. But I do want to make comment about the presentation. Bud and Jim know I think that they're amazing lobbyists and represent their organization and their clients extremely well. There was some concern with me this legislative session, as many people were fighting to pass local bills and circumvent the council. And so it created cause for pause this year that I think more so from Breck to St. George to everybody else, school board, everything that was going on, it was to circumvent the school board and local council. And so one of my main concerns, and through conversation with both Bud and Jim, was that, we have access. Not only do we have access, but we know what position we're taking as a city parish. Because the position is more important than the why is more important than the what, right? Why are we advocating for this and what's our position on it, so that we know the way that the city parish is going. And that kind of gives us an opportunity as a council to either take a position on it as well, or to go down there and respectfully represent our constituencies with different opinions. And so when I looked at the contract that they had put in place, and I had some internal discussions with the city parish folks, there was some language in the contract that I want to publicly ask be rectified for next legislative session, where they don't represent the mayor's office, but they represent the entire council, the entire city parish, which gives us the ability to have an opinion on what they say and what they do as they go represent the state. And that was not done during this administration. The language change was done in the previous administration, but I asked it to be rectified. And then I also asked the administration that if they are going to take a position down at the state legislature, that they send notice to the council as to what that position is and to why they take that position. And also to let the administration know that no position is a position. And so we're not going to let people go down to the Capitol and duke it out and us not have a say-so when they're trying to circumvent us. Because a lot of the things that were passed this year could have come to us for a vote, but they know that they wouldn't have passed. And so this is both a conversation for whoever represents us down at the Capitol, for the administration, for the parish attorney, for my colleagues, for the lobbyist group that we choose to represent us both on the local, state, and federal levels, and be an advocate, that you represent, even when the mayor takes a position, he's the president of the city parish. He's not the president of the United States. He's the president of the city parish and the mayor of the city of Baton Rouge. So again, I'm going to ask the administration that whatever your position is, and moving forward, want to make sure that you take a position. Number two, let us know who's advocating for us and why. And then number three, make sure that we get, not only, I can read these bills, no disrespect, I can read these on the House or the LA.whatever.gov myself, right? I know what they are. And I know most of them, but I want to know why you're being hired to represent us on each one of those issues, and then what you're saying on each one of those issues. We also know some things have to happen behind the scenes, discussions, whatever it takes to get to the point where we want to know, but the end result is what matters to me. And so an example would be, and I'm not poking at Aaron, I just want to know, like, one of the big deals was Breck and Central. I don't even know what Aaron's position is on it, right? Because it didn't matter. Now, I did talk to him in the deal, but we didn't meet until that day, right? Dwight is a big proponent of St. George, right? I don't know what Dwight's discussion was in that meeting. And my point is, bringing it before the council allows us to have a discussion and take a position. And I may agree with Aaron. I don't even know what it was, but he may disagree with me. I may agree with Dwight. Dwight may disagree with me, but at that point, we either make a resolution or we go out there and advocate for our communities independently. And I'm gonna leave with this one thing. When it came to Breck, and I do know what Aaron's position was on that. We talked that day, but I didn't know before, right? Because I didn't know when the bill came up till I told you. I'll take my second 5 minutes. I don't care. But one of the things we talked about, even when it came to Breck, is $20 million investment in Central Parks. You know, Bodie White said he was going to pull out years ago. So Breck catered to him to kind of leave Central as a part of the Breck system. Well, now that the town is built up into a great city, great education, they got some of the best park systems in the entire parish, they want to pull out. And so they don't want to pay tax dollars into areas that still need park restoration. And so I made this comment there, and I'll make it again, is that the people in my area pay so that you can have great parks. I need you to pay so they can have great parks. And so we could have made a position as a council, or we could have taken independent positions, but that meant a lot to me. Because park systems are resources and tools and amenities in communities that need to be revitalized. And when I just had my meeting with Corey Wilson on May 11th, before he left at Breck, guess where all the stains were on Breck that needed to have park revitalization? In North Baton Rouge. And I may not have always agreed with Shauna on a lot of stuff, and still don't agree with on a lot of things. But the one thing she said that has stuck in my brain about Marion Berry, when it came to, well, no, he said it. She said it actually. I remember specifically. Is that if we don't start in the underserved communities, it'll never get there. And a lot of times, what we're doing now is the same reflection. St. George has great parks. They created their own city. Great. Now they want their own school system. Zachary did it. Central did it. Zachary's obviously always been their own city, but school system. And the areas that get left behind and become desolate are the ones that have the lowest income, lowest voter turnouts. And it has to be a time for a change. And so when I go to the polls, I vote for things that make our city better and represent the underrepresented. I'm talking about as a candidate. And when I go to the state capitol, I want to do the same thing, be the voice for the voiceless. So when y'all have these things, whether it be mayor, lobbyist, whoever, take a position, let us know where you are, and make sure the contract next year represents not just the mayor's office, but also the city council as well. Thank you.
Councilman Dunn Jr.
Thank you. What Councilman Hurst is referencing about Marion Berry is when he built the subway in the DC area, he started in the underserved communities. They asked him why did he start there, and he said if he didn't start there, they'd never get there. And I made that statement as it relates to the tram or the train, one of them, when we was pushing back on where they wanted to start it. But to Jim and Bud and the legislative update, thank you for all the work you do, your due diligence and things of that nature. As you stated, this has been a tough legislative session. I've heard you say that. I've heard legislators, many of them say that. The pace of it, the crunch in time, and just the overall bills that were filed. In my opinion, since I've been on the council, there were more bills that was looking to make wholesale changes in East Baton Rouge Parish and in city government than I could ever remember. That's why I wanted to put this item on the agenda. As it relates to you guys, also our lobbyists on the airport. Some 6-7 years ago, we had an issue with some bills or some legislation at the airport. We put a policy in place that you would give us a legislative tracker and keep us aware of the things that was affecting airports and specifically Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It seems when these issues took place this session and these conversations started, you started doing that with the council. Now, I don't recall or remember that prior to this session, but I'm happy that we're implementing that now, and I want to reinforce that's my expectation to make sure we're getting those updates regularly on the council. As it relates to bills that directly impact and affect our authority, meaning council members, I'm expecting to get a call. I'm expecting to have a meeting about that. I'm not expecting to hear about that from a third party, which I had to hear about from a third party about the blight issue. This parish hires you guys to represent the mayor's office, the council, and the city parish government. Any bill that's filed to remove, take away, or circumvent the authority of the council, I'm expecting to be briefed by you all, not a third party. I want to make that clear. Councilman Hurst referenced the language in the current contract, and as I understand it, it has not been signed yet. An item was introduced today to amend that contract that will include not only the mayor's office, but the council, as previous contracts had you responding and reporting to the council and the mayor's office. I don't care who drafted it, who negotiated it. In my opinion, it should be a report to the mayor's office and the council. Now, if somebody else have a different opinion, then we need to talk about, do the council need its own consultant, its own lobbyist? But if we have the language in there and get the language approved, we need to make sure you're reporting to both the administrative and the legislative branch. As it relates to taking positions, typically we as a council and our predecessors have taken votes on what the council collectively would support. Sometimes that works in someone's favor, sometimes that don't. And sometimes we go to the legislature and speak for our personal feelings or represent our constituents and not necessarily represent the body, because the body may not agree with your viewpoint on the issue. But even before it gets to us, most of these bills, most of these committees do refer to the mayor president. What is the mayor president's opinion on this? And many of these bills, people were saying they was following them in the name of the mayor. People were saying it was on the behalf of the mayor. The mayor was telling us he had no idea about them. There are many bills that the mayor didn't take a position on. And I agree with Councilman Hurst, no position is a position. Because legislators are down there saying, well, hey, the mayor doesn't object to it. It must be okay. And I think we have to make sure that as representatives of the city and the parish, that we are, making sure we're protecting the best interests of the city and the parish. And, always or consistently taking no position. That's not what we was elected to do. We was elected to take positions, have tough conversations, make tough decisions, take a position. Abstaining is not good. Get in it. You were elected.
Councilman, you want to say
voted.
time?
Yes, sir. Represent the people. Take a position. We may not agree with it, but take a position. So, again, I just want to reinforce what my expectation is as it relates to you all, is clearly communicating with us as council members and the mayor's office about bills that directly impact local government and us in particular. There are a lot of bills that impact, as you've laid out, the parish, and that's maybe our constituents or something in our district. And, you're not going to get to every bill, personally talk about every bill, but those that directly impact our authority, we need to hear from you directly. We shouldn't hear from a third party. And again, I just want to reinforce the item was introduced today and will be heard in 2 weeks to amend the agreement that adds back the language to report to the mayor president and the council. Thank you.
Councilman Moe.
Thank you. So, yeah, I would like to start off with, I think the work that y'all have done this session, I would agree, even for myself, as far as being on the Metro Council and being that go-between different locations, different municipalities, and in the state and East Baton Rouge Parish, plus a local municipality that I reside over. I think it was a fast-moving, and I think it was quick. I think with y'all's help, I know the information that I requested, that I feel that I got, I was able to keep up with the bills and everything. I know I ran into several of y'all on the floor at the House and the Senate this past session. So kudos to all of y'all that stayed involved in everything. But that's the whole point with staying involved. I would be very concerned, and I guess the best I can say is be careful what you ask for, because just like, and you brought up the Breck bill and everything, those positions move. They're fluidly adjusting throughout the whole thing. Bills that I thought were dead were all of a sudden coming back up in committee. Things that I thought were taken care of are all of a sudden be amended. And then, of course, they get into the part about, you know, what gets added onto somebody's bill at the very end and so on and so forth. So I think let's take, and I'm just going to use it for an example, let's take the Breck thing, and Central doing its thing. There was all kind of positions all over the place. I know of several local council members that were just beating the drum and rah-rah for it, and by the time it was over with, they weren't. So let's say they passed a resolution or wrote a letter in support or did something, and then all of a sudden things change. Well, that gets used. So that's the only thing I would caution about. When it comes to legislative sessions, they've got 45 days to get things done. We introduce something, a resolution, 2 weeks later, we have a discussion on it. It might get deferred. We don't know what the position's going to be. I think the best that we can do when it comes to these matters with legislative issues and all is to make sure that we're down there representing our districts, representing what our constituents say. I think some of us have it a little different. We have to, not only do I have to take into consideration what a mayor and 7 council members want, but then I take into consideration of what my constituents want. And again, I'll bring back up the Breck thing. It was all over the place. And I had to deal with that. I don't think, even if it would have been brought up as a resolution or something in support or a way, I don't think I would have answered for that here. I know no decision is a decision, is what y'all are saying. I know we've all abstained from different things over time. I wouldn't have made a decision on that. So that's where I get into be careful what we ask for. I think, you're right. I will agree with y'all on maybe the language of the contract. I think that kind of threw us all off during this last time, because what was brought up in the contract change, there's some way that we could work together and show that, I feel very receptive as far as calling them during the week. Where's this at? Where's that at? What do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? And they gave me that information. So I see what you're saying, but I think we got to be careful what we ask for. If we start introducing, we get all these bills of legislative stuff at the beginning of the session, and we start passing resolutions and this, that, and the other, and then all of a sudden we want to change. Do we do another resolution and throw it out there? So I would say that, let's work on the contract, but let's keep in touch directly with them, with our local legislators, and our directly with our constituents and stuff, and work those bills throughout the session through there. Thank you.
All right.
Yep. So look, I just want to say that I agree, Bud and Jim, y'all were very responsive, so I won't say anything about that. For me, and I actually agree with the resolution part, so I'm glad you said it, Aaron, because we didn't know where each other stood till we got there. But the biggest issue is that we don't make money as lobbyists. Some people don't. But we make money doing other things. He's in IT. I do consulting and mental health. We got a bunch of other stuff. So I don't know when the stuff is coming up to know when to show up. So for me, I think that's when the communication from y'all, because as it moves, blast email Metro Council, this is coming up tomorrow. Then I know to show up. That's the only thing I didn't know about. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Bud, Jim, thank y'all so much for the presentation. Thank you for your hard work. I've seen y'all in action with this stuff and certainly corresponding with us. Y'all have been great. I do, and I've mentioned this to you all, I have a problem with the contract with the way it reads, and I know it was changed previously. I've talked to the administration about it, and I'm the one who introduced the item to change that back to how it was. And but I also understand that comes with its challenges as well. You're dealing with, in some scenarios, what could be, the council itself, if it was just the council you represented, you could still be dealing with a bipolar client. because we don't always agree, and we recognize that. But then when you add to that the mayor president's office and the council, it's even more difficult. You can speak to the parish attorney about that. He's well aware of those struggles because it's difficult to represent so many people with so many different interests and constituents who think differently. But I think you all are certainly capable of that and up to that challenge. You've done it before with the language that way, so I'd like to see it again. And I think the way we approach that, I think we need to have robust discussion about the things we know that are coming down the pipe in the session, and if we want to have resolutions of support or non-support for those. I think that certainly is something we can address, and how we approve those resolutions and the verbiage in them. I think the broader it is, if we kind of indicate, we support this if it goes in this direction or this, or without that, we can get really broad or granular so that it can have the impact that we desire, if we can have 7 agree on what that desire is, so that you'll know what parameters to stay within on whatever bill. And if somebody's looking to amend something, you can say, well, hey, if you do that, that falls outside, and so the council support's not there. And certainly if things start to move fast and change and amend faster than we can address them at this body, then I think it's exactly what we talked about. Then we go up there and say, hey, I know you have a letter saying we supported it. I did, I don't anymore, and here's why. And that's our responsibility. And but I think that's where you all would need to contact us and say, hey, heads up, this happened. What do you want to do? And so I think it's the conversation and the correspondence. I think by and large, the council and the mayor, we're going to be rowing in the same direction most of the time. And I think again, this is it makes it a little hairier for y'all to go back to how it was, but I think ultimately it'll bear fruit for city parish, and something that I think we all agree at this body that needs to occur. And we see how, if it proves to be too difficult and we have issues that are we're on the opposite sides of, and it's not working, then I think we need to look for an alternative, which is maybe having representation separately. But I think it was done before. Y'all did it well before, and I think we can do that again. So I appreciate y'all's help with everything. Great job. Councilman Kinney.
All right, real quickly, I don't want to rehash what my colleagues already said. Is there any way, I guess, for the next, session coming up, do we strategize with the EBR delegation of legislators in any way possible? Right, so as if Councilman Dunn said, kind of any priorities that the city parish or the mayor's office want to work in tandem with, right? Is there any opportunity or future opportunity for us to work in tandem with the EBR delegation? And can we get, we can have some conversation as well, because I would love to know, compared to other cities, major cities in Louisiana, dollars they're getting compared to what we get in East Baton Rouge Parish, to see if there are disparities or what we need to do to strategize better to bring more dollars to the city. Okay.
Yeah, I guess to follow up on that, we had 2 previous meetings where Senator Edmondson called for lunches with the delegation, with the East Metro Council delegation. Do I think those were the most beneficial as far as informational given? No, but it was an opportunity to meet with everybody else. And maybe when those come up again, I hadn't seen that done until this session and this new crew that went in as far as legislators and stuff. But I was appreciative of the opportunity for that. Maybe if there's, if they keep doing those, which we had 2, maybe we can work with our lobbyists here or our workers here, that we can, hey, this is the information that we're wanting at these meetings, and bring those forward.
Anybody else? All right, thank you. Item 118, receiving a report from City Parish Insurance Consultant and the Department of Human Resources on the status of City Parish health benefits, current and future plans by Councilwoman Jen Rocca. There's been a request to defer this item. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. Councilwoman Rocca.
I was asked to defer this item to move this meeting along expeditiously, and everyone lied. Thank you.
Motion to defer, second by the chair. Any opposed? Motion carries. There's been a request to reconsider item 62. Do we have a motion to reconsider item 62? That was Councilman Hurst. Motion to reconsider. Item 62 is condemnation. I'll second. Any opposed? Motion carries. Request 90 days deferral by Councilman Hurst, second by the chair. Any opposed?
Look, I want to make sure, public record, that 90 days is to allow the owner to do his own demolition. I just want to put that on the record. Thank you.
Motion carries. Councilwoman Amorosa. Thank y'all for your continued service. God bless.